Did you know that Canada doesn't have a cultural food? Hey everyone, welcome back to another Poutine and maple syrup and maybe you can eat beaver episode. We're the hosts. My name is MJ.
My name is Adam.
And here on the MJ and Adam Show, we welcome you to join this natural English conversation, learn some new phrases, some new words, but most of all, most important, get the feeling of English because that's something you cannot find in a textbook. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing about cultural foods in Canada.
Yeah.
Adam now is back in Canada, his home country, living it up, having a good time, and maybe reminiscing about some of the food, the cuisine that he could find. But, I think a lot of the times when we are talking to people from different countries, example, I came to Japan and I would talk to people, they would ask like, oh, what are some of your favorite Japanese foods? Oh, what foods are popular in your country? Tell me about American food. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I guess we got pizza, but maybe, that's Italian. Maybe we have hot dogs, but I guess that's kind of like German sausage. So the question now turns over to Adam, is Canadian food?
That's a good question. And I am always confused when I hear that because it's difficult. Aside from poutine, which is a French-Canadian cuisine from Quebec, I don't know what's like specifically born and bred, raised in the North Canadian food. It just goes to the fact that most of the people living in Canada, aside from the First Nations people who were here originally, everyone else is from another country. So most people brought their country's food from their country. We have Chinese or Cantonese food that maybe in mainland China and Hong Kong, they don't eat because it's different. But in Canada, that's what we know as Chinese food. There's a lot of Greek people. They have their food here as well. We can eat that, but is it really the same when you go to Greece? Probably not. It's like adjusted for the Canadian palate. So like all the foods here, I guess, from different countries, they're in Canada and they're adjusted for Canadians. Maybe is that Canadian food?
You know what? I would say yes.
Right? Would
yes. Because it's a fusion of the cultural food of the different country, but changed to be more appetizing in Canada, where you are right now. What I thought was Chinese food for the longest time growing up living in America. And I came to Japan and I went to a Chinese place and I was like, what is all this food? It looks actually good. Yeah. And then you even go to a more authentic Chinese restaurant in Japan. Maybe you're in Yokohama, and you could see that even that is different. If you're thinking about everyone, Japan is its own country, has a lot of history, but other countries like North America, Canada, America are very young countries, and a lot of the people of the countries are from other places. So just like Adam was saying, a lot of the different types of flavors, cuisines are coming from Europe, South America, into this big melting pot, if you will, to create its own style of food. So I think when most people think about Canada, what's a food? Poutine definitely pops up, but you just mentioned it's French cuisine-ish.
I guess French-Canadian cuisine-ish, because they don't have it in France.
If someone was to ask you, what is Canadian food, Adam? Your initial answer?
Poutine. Initial answer. And even when I was coming back to Canada, when I was in Japan still, a lot of my friends would say like, oh, I bet you're so glad to eat Canadian food when you go back. And I was just like, I guess. Aside from poutine, that's the only food.
Look, what else would it be like? Maybe like moose jerky or something?
Beaver jerky? Like
beaver jerky?
Beaver tails. Beaver tails is a pastry that is from Canada. Nanaimo bars, which I never had, is another kind of like a brownie kind of thing.
All right. I guess all dressed potato chips?
Ketchup chips.
Those are cuisine?
I guess so.
Maybe in a different sense of cuisine, but it's a
craft
food that
dinner.
You can only find in Canada. So then in a weird way, the Canadian food is, I think, similar to like the American food, where there's like, it's junk food almost.
So I imagine if you go to more rural areas of Canada where they have like a more local population and people have been there for a long time, generations, they might have like a specific cuisine. Like this is Sudbury's steak or something like that.
I mean, almost like I guess Kansai would have their type of okonomiyaki, and then Hiroshima has their type of okonomiyaki.
Right, exactly. But then when you go farther east on the East Coast, there's a lot of fishing areas. So they are known for their fresh lobster, for example. So those places might have like lobster sandwiches. This place has been here for the past 100 years, making the best lobster sandwiches in Canada. So that's why I would think that they would be Canadian food.
Okay.
But you would have to go there to experience it. And one more thing that I did remember is that in Montreal, they're known for the smoked meat, which is like Canadian, but it's more like a Jewish Canadian thing from what I remember. Montreal bagels is another one that are very known in Canada to be delicious, the style of bagel. So it's not all of Canada. You have to go to the place to figure out where the history came from. And you can't eat it all across Canada, which is just basically for everything. Like if I want to find Indian food, there's restaurants that sell Indian food. Kenyan food, restaurants that sell Kenyan food. They're all in Canada. So I can experience it just like Poutine is from Quebec, French Canadian. There's other different types of Canadian foods that I can have, but it's not like Canadian food.
Exactly.
It's not totally. Like as Canadian as sushi is for Japan.
And I guess that's like one of the cool parts about Japan, that rich history has continued on for however many hundreds, thousands of years so we can all now enjoy it. And that's one thing that a lot of people say when they travel to Japan. What's a really good thing? What do you remember? The food, so different, so good. So that's the thing that really stands apart. Another reason why Japan is pretty cool, because of the cuisine. America, I don't know. We got like Doritos. We got McDonald's? That's probably all we got. Hey, if you want to take an even deeper jump on our website, become a Next Step community member to get awesome perks, or talk one-on-one with me doing some English lessons whenever you're free, your time, you make the reservations, and I want to help you. Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. Let us know in the comments down below, what do you think is Canadian or American cuisine? Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more awesome talks like this.
We'll see you on the next step.